Hello guys, you're welcome back to my channel. Thank you for tuning in, and if you're just tuning in for the first time, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, giving it a thumbs up. Don't forget to share and comment, and also if you're just tuning in and at the same time you've already subscribed, I want to say thank you and love you all. Do stay tuned for this video because it's gonna be very interesting. Okay, the 17-year-old who filmed George Floyd's killing is being harassed. Yeah, my subscribers, you might have seen the video before that I dropped of how an African American was killed in America after being accused of using a fake $20 note. Today I'm going to be giving you more updates. I'm going to be giving you the biography of the man. I'm going to be telling you in details what has transpired after then, and I'm also going to be letting you know about what has happened to his culprits, the murderers. And I'm also going to be telling you today also about the 17-year-old who filmed George Floyd's killing, how she's been harassed. Stay tuned. Guys, in the wake up of mass outcry and protest over George Floyd's death in Minneapolis, the person who brought his story to light is already facing or experiencing harassment. Her name Daniela Francie. The 17-year-old who took the video of George Floyd being suffocated and killed by police on Monday now says that she's facing a series of concerning messages online. Francie took the video as proof of police brutality and the pain felt by thousands of people around the country, but is now the subject of some harassment as a result. According to her Facebook page, Francie has been receiving numerous questions about why she didn't fight off police for the duration of the 10-minute video, despite police kneeling Floyd in the neck. In her response, she says that she was scared as a 17-year-old to attempt to fight off any cops or help Floyd. I don't expect anyone who wasn't placed in my position to understand why and how I feel the way that I do, she wrote on Facebook. Later in the post, she explained that she didn't get involved because she didn't want anyone else to be killed or put in the same condition or position as George, and she feared how the police would further retaliate. If it wasn't for me, so she said, 4 cops would have still had their jobs, causing other problems, she wrote. The police most definitely would have swept it under the rug with a cover-up story instead of bashing me. Thank me, because that could have been one of your loved ones, and you would have wanted to see the truth as well. Anyone with something negative to say, please block me. I'm not forcing you to watch me. The pain and trauma that Francie addresses in her post has resonated with so many. In addition to what she is now going through, she returned to the scene of the killing the day after George Floyd's death, looking visibly shattered. A video was captured and posted online by Nowthis, showing Francis saying, "I watched this man dying," while crying. In the video, she hugs other members of the community protesting in that same area. I posted the video last night and it just went viral. She didn't even think it would go viral. She said through sobs, adding, "Everybody's asking me how do I feel. I don't know how to feel because it's so sad, bro. This man was literally right here at 8 p.m. yesterday. I was walking my cousin to the store and I just see him on the ground and I'm like, what's going on?" Ultimately, she ended her speech at the scene saying it is so traumatizing, while continuing to cry before putting her mask back on. I can put myself in that girl's shoes right now, and I'm trying to see reasons, or I'm trying to feel what she's feeling. It's like It might not be a big deal to most people, but it's really, really a tough deal for a 17-year-old to experience a cold blood murder. It's very, very sad. You don't even expect her to retaliate, or you don't expect her to fight off cops. It's impossible. To my own opinion, if she was even to fight off cops, maybe she would have been charged for something else and be thrown into jail. So, aside from the embarrassment or harassment she has been getting online, I'm going to tell you now about more details about George Floyd, in case maybe you might not know his age, where he comes from, literally of his biography, what's going on after the case. Here it is. The death of George Floyd, an African American man, occurred in Minneapolis, Minnesota on May 25th, 2020. Floyd died after police officer Derek Chauvin laying his neck on Floyd's neck for more than 8 minutes, while his belly was handcuffed on the street. After Floyd went unconscious after 6 minutes, Chauvin kept his knee on Floyd's neck for almost 3 more minutes. Floyd was then transported to the hospital in an ambulance, where he was pronounced dead. The other agents involved in Floyd's arrest are Thomas K. Lane, Tao and J. Alexander Quegg. All 4 officers were fired the day after Floyd died. Floyd's death was recorded by bystanders, like I just said before. The broadcast live on Facebook Live. This caught the attention of the American media and was the direct cause of the protest after the death of George Floyd that were held in Minneapolis and other cities worldwide the following days. The biography of George Floyd, how interesting. George Floyd was a 46-year-old American, or you can say African American, male of African American descent, both parents. Floyd was born in North Carolina and grew up in Houston, Texas. In 2014, he moved to Minnesota. Floyd lived in St. Louis Park and worked as a security guard for a restaurant in Minneapolis for 5 years. Floyd had recently lost his job before his death due to the coronavirus crisis. Floyd was the father of 2 daughters, ages 6 and 22. Those children have become fatherless. Then, about the agents that were involved, the police officers. Derek Michael Chauvin is a 44-year-old white male who has worked as a police officer for the Minneapolis Police Department since 2001. Chauvin had 18 complaints to his name, 18, 2 of which resulted in an official reprimand, as an agent. Chauvin had previously been involved in 3 shootings in which 1 person had been killed. This is not even the first time that the man has been accused of killing. So it definitely won't be a case of a new deal or a new ordeal. Tao, an American man of Hmong descent, started working full-time for the Minneapolis Police Department in 2012. In 2017, Tao was charged with the use of excessive force while in office. The case was settled out of court with $25,000. The other 2 agents, Lane and Queng, had previously had no official complaint to their name. You can say, according to statement by police and paramedics, shortly after 8 in the evening on May 25th, Memorial Day, Minneapolis police officers responded to a report of payments with counterfeit money on Chicago Avenue South in the Powder Horn district. According to a co-owner of a nearby food store, an employee found that Floyd had attempted to pay with a forged $20 bill. The police were then called to find Floyd in a nearby car. According to them, Floyd would have been under the influence. A police spokesman stated that the officers had instructed him to leave the vehicle and that he was said to have physically resisted. These claims were contradicted by bystander video material. Minneapolis police said the officers were able to handcuff the suspect and found that he was suffering from medical problems. They then called an ambulance. According to the police statement, no weapons were used in the arrest. According to the Minneapolis Fire Department, ambulance personnel transported the man from the site and attempted CPR. They found here that he had no pulse and was not responding to the doctors. Floyd was taken to Hennepin County Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead. Part of the arrest was filmed by a bystander and broadcast live on Facebook Live. This video quickly went viral. This video shows Calvin pressing his knee on Floyd's neck when you already found out that he had medical issues. The moment the video starts, Floyd is already lying chest down on the floor while Calvin kneels on his neck. Floyd asks Calvin to take his knee off his neck and says to suffocate. A bystander calls to the officer to give Floyd breathing space. Despite Floyd's persistent pleas and bystanders' reaction, Calvin doesn't take his knee off Floyd's neck. It was intentional. Floyd eventually stops trying to get up and has a nosebleed. Later, he loses consciousness. The agents ignore requests from bystanders to measure Floyd's pulse. Calvin took his knee from Floyd's neck when the emergency medical services arrived to lift his body onto a stretcher. He's given away in an ambulance. This video shows Calvin kneeling on Floyd's neck for at least 7 minutes. A bystander taking video from a vehicle shows Floyd getting out of his car. The images show, according to various media outlets, that Floyd offered no resistance to the agent. A 6-minute video from a surveillance camera from a nearby restaurant was later distributed by the news media. This video shows 2 officers removing a man from a vehicle. The hand is handcuffed and is taken to the sidewalk where he sits. A 3rd agent arrives later. A cop helps the man get up again, and 2 cops take the man to a police vehicle, where the man falls to the ground, although police initially claimed that Floyd had physically opposed arrest. The surveillance video shows that officers are quietly holding him. Other video material support these described images. The footage of the 4 officers has not been released by the police. Other video materials recorded the event. Other bystanders recorded the event on their smartphones, with one video showing Floyd repeating, "Please, I can't breathe, Mama, and don't kill me," being widely circulated on social media platforms and broadcast by the media, while male-to-neck restraints are allowed in Minnesota under certain circumstances. Calvin's usage of the technique has been widely criticized by law enforcement experts as excessive. All 4 officers were fired the day after the incident. 2 autopsies of Floyd were conducted. Both ruled that the manner of death was homicide. The autopsy report from the Hennepin County Medical Examiner found that Floyd died from a cardiac arrest while being restrained by law enforcement officers. Not significant conditions such as heterosclerotic and hypertensive heart disease, fentanyl intoxication, and recent methamphetamine use. An independent private autopsy commissioned by Floyd's family found that the evidence is consistent with mechanical asphyxia as the cause of Floyd's death. with neck compression restricting blood and oxygen to the brain, while back compression restricted breathing. The FBI is conducting a federal civil rights investigation at the request of the Minneapolis Police Department. The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension (BCA) is also investigating possible violations of Minnesota statutes. On May 29, Calvin was charged with third-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter for Floyd's death, with Hennepin County Attorney Michael O. Freeman saying he anticipated charges to be brought against the other 3 officers at the scene. No indictment or charges have been filed against the 3 officers as of June 1st. After Floyd's death, demonstrations and protests in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area were initially peaceful on May 26, and later that day became violent as a police precinct and 2 stores were set on fire. And many stores were looted and damaged. Some demonstrators skirmished with police who fired tear gas and rubber bullets. Additional protests developed in over 200 cities throughout all 50 states in the United States as well as international. Floyd's death has been compared to the 2014 death of Eric Garner. Garner, also an unarmed black man, repeated "I can't breathe" 11 times after being placed in a chokehold by a New York police officer during an arrest in Staten Island, New York. That's bad. Like, horrible. If they say homicide is the cause of his arrest, if it's the cause of his death, pardon me, let me bring it to you, like, the definition of homicide, or what homicide will look like, or what it's supposed to look like. Homicide is the act of one human killing another. A homicide requires only a volitional act by another person that results in death, and thus a homicide may result from accidental, reckless, or negligent act, even if there is no intent to cause harm. Homicide can be divided into many overlapping legal categories, including murder, manslaughter, justifiable homicide, killing in war, either following the laws of war or as a war crime, euthanasia, and capital punishment. Depending on the circumstances of the death, these different types of homicide are often treated very differently in human societies. Some are considered crimes, while others are permitted or even ordered by the legal system. Alright guys, according to that definition just now, I don't think, or to me, it's here is another video, and also the brother of Floyd as well spoke his mind, and some African Americans are airing their own opinion. And also, I want you guys to make it viral, share the video.
Buildings are burning is because this city, this state, would prefer preserving that white nationalism and that white supremacist mindset over arresting, charging, and helping to convict 4 officers who killed a black man. That is the reality of what we're dealing with. This is not just a few cops doing things across the country. This is not a good cop versus bad cop situation. This is Ahmaud Arbery being shot down by white men on the streets of Georgia. Breonna Taylor being killed in her home. This is in New York City, where we were until freedom. We were just in New York fighting the police officers who, in the name of social distancing, were damn near killing black young people on our streets. This is a coordinated activity happening across this nation. And so we are in a state of emergency. Black people are dying in a state of emergency. We cannot look at this as an isolated incident. The reason why buildings are burning are not just for our brother George Floyd. they're burning down because people here in Minnesota are saying to people in New York, to people in California, to people in Memphis, to people all across this nation, enough is enough. Yes. And we are not responsible for the mental illness that has been inflicted upon our people by the American government, institutions, and those people who are in positions of power. I don't give a damn if they burn down Target. Because Target should be on the streets with us, calling for the justice that our people deserve.
Talk about it, Tamika.
Where was AutoZone at the time when Philando Castile was shot in a car, which is what they actually represent? Where were they? So if you are not coming to the people's defense, then don't challenge us when young people and other people who are frustrated and instigated by the people you pay. You are paying instigators to be among our people out there throwing rocks, breaking windows, and burning down buildings. And so young people are responding to that. They are enraged, and there's an easy way to stop it. Arrest the cops. Charge the cops. Charge all the cops. Not just some of them, not just here in Minneapolis. Charge them in every city across America where our people are being murdered. Charge them everywhere. That's the bottom line. Charge the cops. Do your job. Do what you say this country is supposed to be about, the land of the free for all. It has not been free for black people, and we are tired. Don't talk to us about looting. Y'all are the looters. America has looted black people. America looted the Native Americans when they first came here. So looting is what you do. We learned it from you. We learned violence from you. We learned violence from you. The violence was what we learned from you. So if you want us to do better, then damn it, you do better.
Come on.
We gotta let that settle. Whew, thank you.
Power.
So we're gonna bring up our next speaker, who, as Adair said, traveled here from Texas. We can't imagine what you've been going through. Losing your best friend, George Floyd, to something like this, where the nation saw him plead for his life and have to take his last breath. Nobody should have to die like that. Nobody. So next up, we have Stephen Jackson, a former NBA player, best friend of George Floyd, standing here in solidarity. Please welcome him.
Oh, man. Who said common sense was common?
Talk about it.
What happened to common sense? My brothers, I love y'all.
Love you too, bro.
My queens, I love y'all.
We love you, brother.
I'm not scared.
Come on, say that.
That's right.
Say that.
I'm not scared.
Say that.
I'm hurt. I'm angry. But I ain't scared.
Yeah.
I ain't scared at all.
That's right.
To my white brothers, I love you. Every race here, I love you.
Come on.
But it comes to a point now where if you love me and you not standing on the side of me, then your love don't mean shit.
Say that. Say that. Say that. Yes.
I'm at the point now where I'm tired of being a bigger person.
That's right.
I'm tired of walking around and seeing white kids and feeling like me being having a big heart and just giving love to every race, and we not getting it in return. We entertain and we doing everything for everybody else, but we the ones get shitted on.
Come on, brother. Bring it.
I'm here because they're not going to demean the character of George Floyd, my twin. A lot of times when police do things that they know that's wrong, the first thing they try to do is cover it up and bring up your background to make it seem like the bullshit that they did was worthy. When was murder ever worthy?
Never.
But if it's a black man, it's approved. You can't tell me when that man had his knee on my brother's neck, taking his life away with his hand in his pocket, that smirk on his face didn't say I'm protected.
That's right.
That's what it said. That's what it said.
You can't tell me that he didn't feel that it was his duty to murder my brother and that he was fine with it, that he knew he was going to get away with it. You can't tell me that wasn't a look in his face. We've seen this so many times, and we see it right in our face and we don't get no justice. What happened to common sense?
That's right.
What happened to just opening your eyes? Your eyes don't work now? Videos, what is videos for? Videos don't work now, they don't mean nothing? Only when you black.
Say that.
My brother was someone who died trying to be a protector and a provider for everybody. But one thing a lot of y'all don't know, that's damn near every black man.
That's right. Talk about it.
Because where we come from, we have to learn how to protect and provide. How not? The ones that don't know how to protect and provide, the ones that ain't proud to be black, are the ones that get knocked off early. You have to be strong where we come from in order to survive, in order to be successful. It's 10 times harder. And I tell people all the time, the difference between me and my brother Floyd is I had opportunity. So many of my brothers are so talented and sitting in the ghettos and the hoods right now because they don't have opportunity.
That's right.
Big facts.
And y'all wonder why we angry. We're not just dying. It hasn't been fair to us. So at this point, y'all murdering my brother. Now I see y'all punching my women. We don't have a choice but to stop asking and not really demanding. It's time to start taking. It's time to start taking. And my voice is screaming farther than people know. Because I come from the dirt. I come from the mud. You dig what I'm saying? And the people behind me, they come from it too. And we here standing together. I need everybody to stand with us. If you're not with us, you're against us. And it's no more pacifying, no more straddling the fence. Either you got to play this our side or you're on the other side. There's no straddling the fence. And I'm talking to everybody, black, white, blue, green.
Come on. Come on. It's all right, Stack. It's all right.
We need to see some charges.
Sure, Stack. You got it.
Okay.
Imagine this. A man growing up in an area where the odds are already against him. Trying to figure it out. You know, they say experience is the best teacher. So you're going to make mistakes.
That's right.
Everybody going to make mistakes. You make some bad decisions. It happens. We all make bad decisions, right? We make bad decisions. Even being successful, I've made bad decisions, right? You get to a point where you make a bad decision and you end up suffering for it, going through time. Sit down, okay? You got to go do that. They say you got to rehabilitate yourself. You rehabilitate yourself. You have relationships with people where you're able to get away and try to better your life, right? Because you've been in the system. All they tell you, the only way you can get out is if you rehabilitate yourself.
That's right.
And when you rehabilitate yourself, you get out and you're still treated like a criminal. Right? So stay with me now. Picture that. You get an opportunity to move away from the environment that brought you down. You get away, you be successful, you get a job, your life starts turning in the right direction. You stumble a little bit again. It's not worth your life, though.
Right. That's it.
You stumble a little bit again, and you end up on the ground with a knee in your neck, screaming your mama's name, screaming your kid's name,
Lord have mercy.
going to the bathroom on yourself.
Tell the story.
Imagine if he was white.
Wouldn't have happened.
Ponder that for a minute. Imagine if he was white. It would be 30,000 more cameras in here. Let's keep it real. It's over for sugarcoating shit. Every news station would be here. Fuck it, the president might be here. The way he ride.
With the very fine people. Listen. Right.
We, as black men, we've seen a lot of stuff as far as murders and people being taken from us. Right?
True.
But now, not only it's been seen by us and our brothers, but it's been seen by our children now. So I'm sitting there watching this, and my daughter tells me, Dad, I can't leave you. Because I seen what happened to your friend. And I think you need me. My daughter's 6 years old.
Oh my God.
For my daughter to see that and tell me that I need her at 6, imagine what the pain and the frustration is in my mind right now. Because my daughters are seeing police punch on them and slam them to the ground. And we ain't getting no justice. And we as fathers are starting to feel hopeless. And when we feel hopeless, we retaliate. And if you're not giving us no answers, we got to come up with our own answers. And we willing to do that.
That's right.
Understand that. We willing to do that. We going to use our platform. I'm going to use everything I have to get a conviction, to get all these motherfuckers in jail. Excuse my French, I'm angry.
Speak your truth.
But I'm a proud black man.
Say that. Say that.
I mean that from the bottom of my soul. And I can say that and tell everybody here I still love you.
That's right.
But I'm at a point now, I don't need your love. I honestly don't need it. And want me to tell you why I don't need it? Because the love I need has always been here. It's always been here. We just haven't came together yet.
That's good.
But I'm starting to feel it. 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 And I thank God for everybody here. But we came for justice. We came for convictions. I definitely came because this city is definitely going to take care of my brother's kids. He has 2 beautiful daughters that he can't provide for. 2 nights ago, I'm on the phone with Roxy. Gigi don't even know. She still ain't told her daughter. So she decides to tell her why I'm on the phone. Imagine the cries from a 6-year-old girl that just found out her daddy's been murdered for the world to see. Violently, for no fucking reason. 19 citations. A black man get 3 tickets, his license taken away. But you can have 19 citations as a cop and still have a job.
3 murders under your belt. 3 murders.
You got 3 bodies.
How many open cases he got to this
12.
day? But this world has common sense. Common sense ain't common. Common sense ain't common. When you see one person and you treat them like shit, that ain't common sense. That's hate. And a lot of people have it. But you know what? It's building up in us. We can't love forever.
Right.
We can't love forever. And the hate is coming out. And I'm afraid. I'm honestly afraid. Because I know what comes from hate from us. And I know why y'all so scared. Because y'all scared that we're going to pull a you on you. Y'all been doing us wrong for so long. Y'all think karma's finna hit you right back.
Chickens came home to roost.
But we gonna do this shit right.
That's right.
And it ain't gonna stop. I don't have no more tears, honestly. I've cried enough. I've cried enough. I'm here for one reason, for my brother's honor. He was murdered in broad daylight for the world to see, and nobody's in jail. Nobody's in jail. So where we go from here? Where we go from here?
To the front line.
We going to the front line.
That's right.
And anything you see, so be it. So be it. So be it. I want you to see it, because this is real pain. How can you tell people to stop doing what they're doing when all you have to do is have common sense?
That's right.
Common sense ain't coming. Common sense is not coming. I'll walk right here and slap this man behind his camera. Common sense will say, we all saw him slap him. Am I right? Everybody here gonna say we saw him slap him.
Facts.
Everybody saw it.
Big facts.
So everybody that see this man kill my brother,
Right.
common sense ain't coming. It's a new day, man.
No peace.
A call from Houston. They went to high school together. He asked me to send peace to the community.
Okay.
He called this morning from Houston.
Who was your?
Eugene Farouk. He called this morning.
You see the groups that are standing with us up here. I don't know what that is. I'll give it I want to,
See, we here, that's why they arrested him.
so we're about to take a couple of questions. But before we do, one of the things that we want to do today is ask our governor, demand that Governor Tim Walz use his executive power and privilege to do something significant in this situation. Since he was elected, we have pushed him. We have shut down his office to demand that he hold police across the state accountable, including state troopers, and he has done absolutely nothing. So there's blood on his hands as well, and he needs to step up to the plate. So y'all see from everything you've heard from the people here, we're not playing no games, and neither are those people out in the streets. We will take some questions. Oh, Jamie. Oh. Okay, so I've just been told there is one more speaker that we don't want to miss. Someone who traveled all the way here that all of us are familiar with. Prominent actor and singer, Mr. Jamie Foxx, came to stand in solidarity for justice for George Floyd. Please welcome him.
First of all, I just want to say,
Come on all the way.
I want to say this, that I've experienced this before, able to watch the Rodney King when I was in LA. Able to talk to Sabrina, Trayvon Martin's mom, who I talk to still. If you guys get a chance, please find Circle of Mothers where there's 100, 200 cases like this that don't get the visibility and don't get the cameras, and there's strong women. Sabrina right now, Trayvon's mom, who's running for commissioner to try to do something different. This is the toughest time when things like this happen. My man Jack, when I saw him speaking on his Instagram, I called that black man. I said, hey, whatever you need from me. I'm a young boy from, well, older now, but I'm a young cat from Texas. I'm from Terrell, Texas. He from Texas. George Houston Yates, we used to hear about how great their football team was. So we have a connection. So all I wanted to do is let you know that we're not afraid to stand. We're not afraid to stand. We're not afraid of the moment. And I think what you saw on television, to watch this man plead for his mother. As I sit with my two daughters, my nephews who had just come from the grocery store where there was a little thing, and I said, hey, you gotta stop that. So what it does is it overcomplicates everything as a black man trying to tell his son or his daughter how to function in life. Even the things that we've taught them don't seem to work. And then there's this thing of contempt of cop, where it is something simple, and how does it escalate to something like what we have today? All we're trying to do is ask questions of why. Why is it when a person who walks into a church, sits down with the parishioners, prays with them, then takes out a gun and causes havoc, and you apprehend them?
Right. Right.
A white guy.
Right.
Why, when it comes to us, it seems like the brute force ends up what we're doing today. So all I wanted to do today was let you know that I'm not a celebrity. I'm from Terrell, Texas. These are my brothers.
Talk about it.
This means everything, because at the end of the day, when we see you guys out here on the front line, we want to let you know you got support. We want to let you know that anytime you need us, you can call us, we come. We're not afraid of this moment. God bless George and his family. Please wrap your arms around it. And to all of my friends who aren't black, just try to put yourself in our position. And thank you for what you're doing. That's all I want to say. We love you. We're here.
We love you too. Thank you. Thank you for not leaving us to stand alone. I want to acknowledge the people who were responsible for helping to pull this together, all of the partners. Pillsbury United Communities, Minneapolis chapter of the NAACP, Until Freedom, Woke Vote, and the Racial Justice Network.
And Minneapolis Foundation.
And the Minneapolis Foundation.
And I want to thank Carl Anthony Towns for stepping up too and showing up.
Yeah. Absolutely. So now we will take a couple of questions.
Okay, so 5 years ago, we were all here when Brother Jamar Clark was killed by two Minneapolis police officers. Mike Freeman chose not to take it to a grand jury and let those officers walk, and in fact let them back on the force. Now that we have one arrest, what is going to be moving forward to make sure that the culture of the Minneapolis police force is changed?
Well, one arrest is definitely not going to change the culture. That's the bottom line. We've called for 4 arrests, and we want to make that clear to the media. Please do not run away with the narrative that highlights one arrest. That is nothing at the end of the day. They should have been arrested, but we want to see 4 arrests and charges for everything that they did that violated the law and the civil rights of George Floyd. Do you want to share something?
Yes, please, briefly. My name is Lee Merritt. I'm a civil rights attorney. I've been given the privilege of being able to stand as co-counsel with this family with Attorney Benjamin Crump. We made an announcement earlier today that this community is going to back and that we're going to see push forward into the future. The first, I appreciate the question. We need long-term systemic change. And 1 arrest and 4 arrests won't accomplish that. And so we're taking this family, the family of George Floyd, along with the family of Ahmaud Arbery, along with the family of Breonna Taylor, to the capital city. We're taking them to Capitol Hill. We're demanding specific federal legislation that changes qualified immunity, that changes police accountability standards. We're meeting with this community because we dare not dictate to them what they need to change in this community. We're putting together a task force that will systematically address not only the issues prevalent here in Minnesota, but in South Georgia and in Texas and in Chicago and all over the country, because this problem is far beyond the death of one man, but we can draw a line in the sand here.
That's right.
Black people are exhausted, and I speak on behalf of some of the greatest attorneys in the country, with Chris Stewart, with Benjamin Crump, with his partner, Mr. Miller. We're bringing our legal power here. We're bringing our activist power here. We're bringing our celebrity power here. We're bringing everything that we have. We're laying it on the line. We're saying this is enough. It's going to change permanently.
Any other questions?
Can you say your name one more time, sir?
Lee Merritt, Leemerritt.
And your title?
Civil rights attorney for the family of Ahmaud Arbery and co-counsel for the family of George Floyd.
Okay, so I'm seeing no more questions. I don't see any more questions. Okay, so we have been asked to let you all know that there is a rally happening across the street from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. in the plaza of the Government Center. All are welcome. Thank you all for being
I'm
here.
sorry, and Kim, I didn't mean to cut you off. But not Rashawn.
What has to
Oh,
happen?
shit.
Thank you all for joining us.
The other guy was supposed to speak, but
Who?
Royce White.
I don't know.
Right here. Sorry.
Oh,
I was trying, I'm sorry.
Can you speak up for Daddy?
100%.
Okay.
I didn't know.
We're going to be at the front
I'm
line
sorry.
for the whole group.
What happened over there? Everything okay? I gotta get my.
My batteries there.
Oh no, I saw what you were doing.
I apologize.
Producing, I have a program MTN and no presentation. Sometimes things cut out this one. You might know my wife.
Follow the cable.
Alright, guys, you've watched the video, and I know you might have some things to say, like one or two things to say. Don't forget to drop it in the comment section below. And I want you all to air out your own opinion, because on watching this video, you'll hear the African American with your own ears. They poured out their heart. Like, pouring out their heart doesn't just mean you should just hear it alone. Like, it's calling for action as well. So that's why you guys have to share the video for it to go viral, and don't forget to subscribe. When you subscribe, turn on the notification button so as you can be the first person to be notified each time I post a new video. I want you guys to not just watch this video only. I want to see your comment. Like, I want to see your comment. Thank you so much. Till I come your way again next time. It's me. Have fun. Peace. Keep safe and stay healthy.